Hello everyone. In this video we will learn about the external respiration. This is the part of standard 12th biology chapter number 8 respiration and circulation. So in this slide you can see that is the external respiration. Why this external respiration? Okay, I hope you know about what is the respiration. Respiration is a biological process involving exchange of gases between the atmosphere and the lungs, and it results in the formation of ATP. So for this all process, what is the requirement? This is the requirement on the particular mechanism. Okay, in this mechanism you have seen the first mechanism, you are breathing. So what is the breathing? Breathing expiration and inspiration. In the expiration process you inhale the oxygen inside, and the expiration you expire, or you are removing carbon dioxide outside the body, because the result of this oxidation or biological process of respiration, what is the waste product? That is the carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so this is important to exhale it or remove from your body. Okay, so this is the done with the help of expiration. Okay, so expiration and inspiration is the part of breathing. And the next process, that is after this exhaling, what happens when oxygen goes inside the body? Okay, that when it is reaches to the lungs. Okay, lungs to the alveolus. I hope you have to be know about the whole respiratory system, the track of oxygen. Okay, that is start from the traveling of oxygen is started from the your nostril, then nasal cavity, after that pharynx to larynx. Okay, after larynx, trachea is started. Trachea is divided into two parts, that is bronchus. Okay, and bronchus again secondary division of bronchus, that is the bronchioles, and last one is the bronchi. Okay, and this bronchi open into the air sac. Okay, what is the air sac? That air sac called the alveolus. Okay, so where when you talking about this is the, if it is the nostril, then here from here this is the here that is the pharynx. Okay, and pharynx open into the trachea. Trachea is divided and the redivided, and after the redivision that open into bag like structure. This bag like structure is nothing but that is the alveoli. So what is the external respiration? When the oxygen, this oxygen is traveling from here to here to fill, then this is present in a both lungs. Here this is the lung and this is open, this is the bag. Here the oxygen is reached to the alveolus. So how this alveolus, how this oxygen diffuses into the blood, that process called the external respiration. From this is the level. Okay, so this air is passes or air is exchanged between alveoli to the blood. Okay, alveolus to blood. So I hope this is something clear to you. Okay, so in this picture here you can see this structure. Okay, we will discuss about in detail. This is the alveolus. So what you study about here? So exchange of gases at the level of alveolar level. Okay, so exchange of gases at the alveolar level, that is called the external respiration. When it is goes inside the tissue, that is the internal respiration. And the next mechanism is the cellular respiration. So there is a, when you talking about this all process, respiration process is completed with the four level. Okay, first one is breathing, second one is external respiration, next one is internal respiration, and last one is cellular respiration. So in this video we only learn about the external respiration. Okay, so an alveolus consists of layer of simple squamous epithelium. Okay, so here this is the alveoli. Okay, so where it is present, and for that the revision you can see the your textbook, the respiratory system. Okay, so this human respiratory system, so this all structure will be clear to all. Okay, so next one is here, what is exchange of gases at the alveolar level. So we will start. So let's see here the exchange, external respiration. First, we have to be discuss about the structure of alveolus. Okay, so what is that? This alveolus is made up by the tissue, okay, or the cell. What is that? That is squamous epithelium. What is the squamous epithelium? You know about in a 11th standard you have already studied about the animal tissues, in where you have seen that there is a different tissues are present inside our body. Okay, so the first type of tissue, that is the epithelium tissue. And epithelium tissue also having the 5 types. In that we are study here the function of the simple squamous epithelium. Okay, so what is the structure of this squamous? This is the simple flattened cells, okay, arranged in a basement membrane. Okay, so how it is, if this is the basement membrane, so here flattened tissues of only single layer of these cells are present. So this type of cells called the simple squamous epithelium. Okay, and the next one is, so I hope this is clear or remember to you all our visceral organs are made up by this main only the epithelium. So there is a variety of epithelium, so you have to be remember that in a alveolus what is present, that is the squamous epithelium is present, right? So next one is the immediately associated with the dense network of capillaries. So this is very important. When you see the alveolus, see this is the bag-like structure, and this bag-like structure immediately there is the dense network of capillaries. Which capillaries? That is the blood capillaries, okay, pulmonary arteries and pulmonary veins. Okay, having the dividation or the branches of these pulmonary arteries and veins, and this is the capillaries. Okay, so this network, why it is present this network? Because here only the gases exchange take place. Okay, with gases exchange, O2 goes into the blood or diffuses into blood, and then carbon dioxide come back to the alveolus. Okay, so this is the actually gases exchange, right? So next third point, you have seen the capillary wall is also made up of the simple squamous epithelium. So both cell, both layer, okay, which here if you see, this is the alveolus layer, okay, and this is also made up of squamous epithelium. And when you talking about the blood capillaries, so this blood capillaries also made up of squamous epithelium, so both layer is the same, right? So I hope this is clear. What happening over here? The carbon dioxide or oxygen should goes to the blood, okay, and the next one is carbon dioxide. What happens to the carbon dioxide is come to back. Okay, CO2 comes to back from the blood. Okay, CO2 come back to the this alveolus. Okay, so this red color structure I am drawn here. So this is the alveolus, and from alveolus, this one, this is the blood capillaries. Okay, and here this is the alveoli. Okay, and here from alveoli oxygen is diffuses into the blood, okay, and carbon dioxide back back to alveolar chamber. From alveolus it goes to bronchus to bronchioles, and then trachea, and after that trachea, that pharynx to larynx, that goes um, out or exhale into environment with the help of exhaling. Okay, so this is goes back. Okay, so this is the passage, actually overall structure of external respiration. Okay, so let's move on the next one in detail. Okay, so here in this when you start the writing of external respiration, so first of all you have to be start with the alveolus. Alveolus is made up of epithelium, okay, and is covered it with a dense capillary network of capillaries. And the next one is capillaries, also made up of the thin basement membrane, that is the simple epithelium, okay. So here both layer have the similar structure and are thin walled. So this is also very important, both, okay, which both the blood capillaries and alveolus basement membrane, both are simple and very thin, because here only the gases exchange should be done. So that's why this all structure is very thin for the diffusion of these gases, okay. So let's move on the next one. Then the next point is important. Together they may make up respiratory membrane. What is the respiratory membrane? What is over here in this picture? You can see this is the respiratory membrane. What is the function of this respiratory membrane? This is only the membrane that work as a gases exchange. So what is respiratory membrane? That is made up of the alveolar membrane and the blood capillaries membrane. Both are getting together to make the respiratory membrane, right? And the next one is exchange occurrence, that is between the alveolar air and the blood, okay. So here alveolus is the bag like structure, balloon like structure, okay. So this is inside of this alveolus, that is blank air bag, this is the air bag, okay. So inside there is nothing is present, okay. When you see this here only the gases are present, not the liquid and all things are present. There is only gas is present, okay. So this gases structure is important. So what is the point? Together they make up respiratory membrane. So if the question will come as a what is the respiratory membrane, so you have to be tell about the alveolar membrane and the blood capillaries membrane getting together to make the respiratory membrane. What is the function of this respiratory membrane? That in which or in that place gases exchange occurs, okay. So in between which one? That is the alveolar air and the blood, okay. So how this, what is the process for the this gases exchange? There is the diffusion, okay. Diffusion occurs, or a diffusion process is involved for the gases exchange, okay. So diffusion of gases will take place from the area of higher parietal pressure to an area of lower parietal pressure until the parietal pressure is to region reaches equilibrium, okay. So how this diffusion occurs? So I hope you know about how the diffusion and osmosis, okay. In a lower classes you study about that, what is the osmosis and what is the diffusion, okay. Osmosis, simple concept. There is a, if they you are taking the two beakers or one beaker and you are putting here the raisins, okay. So raisins, inside the raisin there is a sugary substance or glucose is present. So this is the high concentrated, okay. So high concentrated, and when you putting it into water, okay, so here H2O is present. So here the concentration of water is a decrease, okay, or low concentration. So what happens? This raisins absorb the water. Why this absorbing the water? Because there is a low concentration to high concentration, so it's required to form the equilibrium. So this process called the osmosis. When we are talking about the diffusion, when this process, all process is required, what required? The particular molecules or special type of molecules, gases, when they are exchanging the concentration or moving in and out, okay, from the permeable membrane. So resins also having the permeable membrane, okay. You can see that the outer membrane of resins. So this is also having the membrane. So that is the plasma membrane, same it is inside the animal body, that is also having the membrane, okay. So crossing molecules, crossing this membrane, goes inside or outside, Why? Because they form the equilibrium of the concentration. Okay, so that's why this all process is occurred. Okay, so here in a diffusion, this is also occurred in a gases exchange. So what, which thing is present over here for the equilibrium? So this is where, when you talking about the parietal pressure, what is the parietal pressure? Outside, periphery, periphery pressure. Okay, so parietal pressure of the two regions. Which region? That is the first region is here and second region is here. Okay, so second region, that is the capillaries region, and first region, that is the alveolar region. So both region having the different concentration of gases. Okay, so these gases differences, so what we call that, we are saying that word is the parietal pressure. Okay, so these two reasons parietal pressure is different. Okay, so when how this process or a diffusion occur, because the parietal pressure of the inner side. Okay, inner side means in a gases form. Okay, when you see this one, this is the capillaries. Okay, so in a capillaries, oxygen, okay, oxygen concentration is low. Okay, and here in alveolar sac, you can see here oxygen concentration is high. Why? Because here you directly exchanging the air. Okay, in when you inhale, so oxygen is goes inside, so that's why this parietal pressure is different. Okay, so what happens, so it's required the oxygen goes to the blood capillaries for the forming of equilibrium. Okay, so that's why this word is here. So this movement of this oxygen is called the diffusion. Okay, so I'm repeating this word, that is the diffusion of gases will take place from an area of higher parietal pressure. Okay, so higher parietal pressure to an area of lower parietal pressure until the parietal pressure in the two region reaches the equilibrium. Okay, so this is very important. And the next one is the parietal pressure of carbon dioxide of blood entering the pulmonary capillaries is 45 mmHg. So remember this concept. Okay, now we are talking about the carbon dioxide. Okay, so where the what is the parietal pressure inside the pulmonary capillaries? That is 45 mmHg, right? When we talking about the parietal pressure of carbon dioxide in a alveolar air, that is 40 mmHg. Okay, so carbon dioxide, so what we say, what we want to say here in a capillaries. Okay, so capillary, that is the 45 mmHg, and inside alveolus, that is 40 mmHg. Okay, so what is due to this difference? Carbon dioxide diffuses from capillaries into the alveolus, so high to low. Okay, when what is the important, inside the low concentration of carbon dioxide and outside that is the high. Okay, outside means in a capillaries, so that's why the equilibrium should be formed. Okay, so that's why this carbon dioxide molecules goes to alveoli. Okay, so there is the diffusion is completed. Okay, when, so due to this difference, carbon dioxide diffuses from capillaries into the alveolus. Okay, capillaries to alveolus. From this alveolus it goes out, because alveolus to it goes back to bronchi, bronchioles, bronchus, trachea, larynx, pharynx, and then nostril. It goes out. Okay, so one form is completed. Okay, here till now you can see the gases exchange carbon dioxide, how this carbon dioxide from our tissues, so byproduct is formed. Okay, so you know about the all process. Okay, when you respire, so the what is when the chemical energy ATP is formed. So what is the byproduct? That is the carbon dioxide and water molecule. So this water molecules and carbon dioxide flows inside the blood capillaries. Okay, so it's required to remove it out. Okay, so how this is removed? That is with the help of this external respiration process. Okay, what is important over here? There is the parietal pressure. The difference between the parietal pressure in alveoli and then blood capillaries is difference, is work or mechanism started of the diffusion of carbon dioxide, right? So similarly, when we see about the carbon oxygen, okay, so what is the difference? Here also work as a parietal pressure of oxygen of the blood in pulmonary capillaries is 40. Okay, so here the pulmonary capillaries, what is over here? There is a 40 mmHg. Okay, and inside alveolus here, okay, here, okay, so in alveolus, what is the pressure here? That is 104 mmHg. So here also the difference between the parietal pressure between the alveoli, okay, so 104 in a alveoli, okay, and 40 mmHg of oxygen. Okay, both are different. Okay, so please remember it. Carbon dioxide outside it is 45 and inside of alveoli that is 40. When you talking about the carbon dioxide in alveolus, that is for 104 mmHg, that is higher in alveolus. Okay, in a capillaries that is lower, okay, and low level. Okay, so that's why this oxygen goes out or diffuses into the blood capillaries. Okay, so due to this difference, oxygen diffuse from the alveoli to the capillaries. So this is simple concept. Okay, so what you have to be remember, inside of the alveolus, what is the parietal pressure of carbon dioxide and the oxygen, and what is the parietal pressure inside the capillaries, oxygen and the carbon dioxide. Okay, so this difference, this concentration difference or parietal pressure difference, that start the diffusion of these gases. Okay, when this diffusion is occurred, the external respiration is completed. Okay, so let's here in this table you can see or properly you can understand in this one. Okay, so concentrate on this table. Okay, what you can see over here? Here in a alveoli, in a first column you can see alveoli. PP means parietal pressure of CO2 is, what is that? That is 40 mmHg. Okay, and the blood capillaries, what happens? It having the higher, that is 45 mmHg. So diffusion diffusion occurs from the blood capillaries. You can concentrate on this arrow. So carbon dioxide move from blood capillaries to alveoli. Okay, just opposite in a, when you see the oxygen, okay, so oxygen 104 mmHg in alveoli, because that is the inhaling, you are taking oxygen from the environment. Okay, so that's why the parietal pressure of oxygen in alveolus that is higher, and the capillaries require this oxygen because they are doing the metabolic activities. So every time oxidation processes occur, so that's why the level of oxygen is a decrease inside the blood capillaries. So the diffusion process from where to where? That is alveolus to blood capillaries. So I hope this all concept is clear. When you're talking about this diagram, okay, that is your present in your textbook, so this is very important diagram. So let's see what which labels are here. So here you can see the blood from pulmonary artery. Okay, so here the pulmonary artery, when you see the structure of heart, external structure, internal structure of heart, so you, when you see the detail about that, so here four major or large arteries and veins are present. Okay, when which pulmonary word, how this given to the particular arteries and veins, the name pulmonation is a word given by the Latin word. Okay, so which organ, the lungs and the heart both are pumping. Okay, they are always continuously, they are contract and relaxing. So that's why when the arteries connected to the lungs and the heart, so that's why this all both organ are contract and relax, so pumping. Okay, so that's why from this word we are give the for the our reminding, we are give the pulmonation word. Okay, so that's why the pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Okay, because they both arteries and vein directly connected to heart and lungs. Okay, so why this heart to lungs, why it is important? Because in a lungs the oxygenated and deoxygenated bloods comes. Deoxygenated blood come here for the oxygenation, and deoxygenated blood goes out from the lungs, and this circulate with the help of heart. Okay, so that's why we are giving here the large arteries and veins name, that is the pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. And the next thing is important over here, what is the function pulmonary vein? Always when you're talking about the pulmonary vein, that carries the oxygenated blood. Okay, pulmonary vein, and remaining all over your body the veins are present, they having the deoxygenated blood, but only the pulmonary vein having the oxygenated blood. So this is also the important factor over here. So pulmonary veins taking the oxygenated blood, and pulmonary artery is taking the deoxygenated blood, right? So when we see here you can see the pulmonary artery is taken. Okay, take the or bring the blood. Okay, which type of blood? It's bring the deoxygenated blood. Now this deoxygenated blood start the traveling. Okay, in this alveolar chamber. Okay, so when it's come to the alveolar chamber, that is the capillaries, small capillaries, and here you can see this one. Okay, this is the alveolar membrane. Okay, this alveolar membrane and capillaries membrane, okay, both making the respiratory membrane. Okay, when the respiratory membrane and this all are making, so here the respiration, external respiration or exchange of gases will be occurred. Okay, so surface fluid is present over here. Here you can see. Okay, oxygen diffuses into the red blood cells. So red blood cells, why we are talking about the red blood cell? Because you know about that, the red blood cells. Okay, so red blood cells having the hb, hemoglobin. Okay, so what is the hemoglobin? Actually this react with the oxygen and make the oxyhemoglobin, and this oxyhemoglobin having the capacity to absorb this oxygen, right? So that's why the RBCs only, not the WBC, platelets, different cells are present in blood. Only the RBCs, red blood cells having the HB or hemoglobin. Hemo word is related to Fe, ferrous. Okay, iron. So this iron having the capacity to trap this or hold this oxygen. Okay, right? So this is very important. So RBCs trap this oxygen. Okay, and this RBCs get turns. Okay, when that RBCs react with the oxygen, it turns into red color. Okay, it's give the red color. You can see here blood is come inside, that is given the purple color, blue color. Okay, when the oxygen is diffuses or oxygen trapped by this RBCs is turned into red color. Okay, so I hope this is clear to all. Okay, and when we are talking about the carbon dioxide, what happens when this is come here? Okay, when the all capillaries use this all, yeah, this capillaries is also reaches to the tissues. When the tissues absorb this oxygen, so this blood again comes into the deoxygenated blood. And what the function of this deoxygenated blood? This is the trapping or that trap to the oxygen, carbon dioxide also. Okay, so this deoxygenated blood, okay, in this deoxygenated blood, what is present? There is a carbon dioxide is present. So what happens this carbon dioxide? This carbon dioxide is diffuses between this respiratory chamber, from the blood capillaries to the where it should be goes out into the alveoli chamber. You can see here. Okay, according to parietal pressure, this carbon dioxide goes back to the environment. Okay, so I hope this all picture is clear to you in your mind. Okay, so simple concept: pulmonary arteries is bring the deoxygenated blood. Okay, when it's come to alveoli, this deoxygenated blood oxygenated with the process of external respiration. What happens here? Here only the parietal pressures difference, the diffusion process is take place, and this oxygen diffuses into the blood, and that is trapped by rbcs, and it's turned into red color. And then carbon dioxide, that is the waste material, as a that is excreted or exhaled by the alveolus to the environment. Right, I hope this all concept is clear to you. So thank you so much.